so long as you're still working at the company, you are de-risking. But one of the things that I'll often do with clients is I will have them look at how many shares do they have that are unvested as well. And I'll put a dollar amount on them. Now, they're not on the
Mm-hmm.
balance sheet yet because they have to earn them, but they still are, they're an implicit asset, right? They're a future asset that exists based
Future
on the
asset
stock
coming due. Yep.
stock price, whether it's a unvested option or an unvested RSU. But like you put those off to the side, then you go, okay, I have this, and then I have my concentration. Well, now what's your total percentage relative to total net worth? And the reason I say that is once you start slimming down the part that's on your actual balance sheet right now, you still have so much room to grow in the
Mm-hmm.
upside that you're hoping for with all those future unvested shares, right? So like they still exist. That's one component. The second component is what you were just saying is essentially, we've won. Let's just smooth out the ride. I would change it a little bit, and I would just say that anyone who's invested in a single stock is gambling. Any single stock across the world has not done as well. I'm going to posit. I actually need to find out as just the broad market since its inception, right? So like maybe Berkshire Hathaway is going to beat him, but he didn't start back in the 1920s, so they should be so far ahead the S&P 500 that it couldn't catch it if we'd invested the same dollar, right, as when we did in Berkshire Hathaway in the 60s. The point I'm getting at is you're choosing to take money off the table that's house money, and then you're choosing to invest in the house to become the casino. You're like, hey man, I just want to win all the time. I don't want to care about who wins and loses every day on the market. Like, if you ever see a pit boss excited and at a casino? Never. Do they know they're going to make money? Absolutely. But it's not exciting. They're not going to be on a heater. They're also not going to be destitute, right? So I think it's, if you look at it
Somewhere
through
in
that
between.
frame, it just
Yeah.
changes it, right? So you basically just go change it and you say, okay, I want to make sure that I'm okay and my family's okay. Let's look at the concentration that we have. How do we get ourselves out of this as tax efficiently as possible so that we can then have a diversified core? And hey, let's keep some of it if we want to keep some of it concentrated because we love it. Let's do it. Why not? That's fun. And then there's the ways that you can do that, right? So like there's love, if you have a taxable investment account, there's great ways to use tax loss harvesting inside of accounts with essentially like direct indexing, where you can go and create losses. So like the S&P 500 was up what 20 some percent in 2024, but I think 2/3 of the companies had a negative return at some point in the year. So it's like, just think of like, if you have a good fund manager who's saying like, I'm going to scrape these losses off as they're existing, but you still get to go along for the ride on the upside. Well, now you're offsetting those losses, all those gains that you have in your RSUs if you've held onto them concentrated, and you're unwinding the position in a manner that's very tax efficient.
Right. And I think in all of this, like you're now building a framework, right?
Yeah.
Whether that's from this episode, it's clicking on the link, it's working with an advisor. Like the idea of like, great, you have equity in your company. Good job. That's gold star number one. But now actually having a plan to figure out, okay, this is going to keep coming each and every year. That number is going to get bigger. What do I do with it? And being able to now map out, like, okay, it is a lower tax year. Let's go ahead and start to sequence that more aggressively. Or, you know what,
Mm-hmm.
the market's down. Can I look for opportunities to cash out? Or, like what we talked about, is like as we're getting closer to retirement, maybe we have shorter or fewer windows where we're getting our next vesting dates before
Yeah.
retirement. What does it look like just to sell right there on the spot? Because to your point, when we go through the exercises with clients, whether that's another opportunity to buy, I look at it as that's just another bonus coming in. You pay the taxes on the bonus you got, you diversify, you put it in savings, you pay down the mortgage, whatever you do. It's having a plan, right? And so if you're,
Mm-hmm.
in that 5 to 7 year window, as you're getting closer to retirement and your concentration's somewhere north of 20-25%, this is the time to schedule that call, to go through that scenario analysis, to really start to put together the glue of what are you working towards, and how do you put together a plan.